All right. So, mic test. Let me make sure this thing is live on YouTube also. Make sure this is live. Da-da-da. But yeah, all right. It should be live. Hold on. All right. It should be live. All right. Now, let's go over what's going on here and my mindset behind this trade. Let's go over what's going on here and my mindset behind this trade. So, one second, I have to I do everything on the trading view, but I'm just gonna be like, I want to show you guys. Okay, since we moved quite a lot from where's midnight, I try to keep my chart really clean. One second, it's midnight to the 25, so it's midnight right here. Like I know we're gonna get that high of the midnight open, it went up there. I don't like to like I don't like to put stuff on my trading view chart. But anyways, uh we moved quite a bit, and then we also had Powell talking today. What other news we had home sales at 10. That's really it. But based on how this market is moving, we're doing a lot of all-time highs, and also ES was on that same type of time, but ES kind of like did it first in a way. uh I don't have too many screens on my computer, so I gotta have my phone too. So I could show this. Even the trade I'm in right now, like I don't feel like I should be holding it for that long, but we'll see. I'm monitoring it real close. So we have a fair value gap on a 2 minute chart inside of this. On a see small gap somewhere. Small gap here. I'm just really watching what's going on here. I want to see if you want to gravitate lower, but because I'm still bearish on the day. But based on what's going on overall, uh, it's too low key though. I like the fact that we moved quite a bit, and I kind of want to call it a day. 49 points. It's not a big trade. I'm gonna close this and I'm gonna talk about it. But let me see. Grab me 200. And
Order
we're just
filled.
gonna close this position for 200. Yeah, that's 49 points. It's fine because this is just choppy as hell. But it's not this choppy. It's just it kind of already delivered to where I needed to deliver to in either way. So everything else that I was holding didn't make any sense. But I'm going to explain the mindset behind this short that I took. I have to have these other charts open because I really be having too many. I only have two screens on my computer, so like, and I do all my analysis on the Nasdaq instead of here. So mindset behind this trade, I'm going to switch to the NQ so I could show you guys. All right, because it's better that way. Hold on, let's go to the other chart. I'm gonna close this window and I'm gonna go to the NQ window instead. Hold on, close this, log out, close. All right, let's see, did it appear? All right, boom. We should be good. All right, let me do everything back over again. So I'm watching all of this. We're gonna start from the top, up here. There we go. We had an inversion for value gap here, right? We inverted this, and I was thinking, okay, yeah, we did Monday and Tuesday. We move higher, and Wednesdays is not. Wednesdays is almost kind of like Thursday. Sometimes you might get a reversal, and sometimes you might get a slight continuation into a reversal. So I think since it is Wednesday, and I was expecting we might get like a small move up, and then market might drop down. And I was also watching the consequent encroachment of this tail right here. I used the what's the fib. So to get the midpoint, just go with the fib right here to low, boom, and you just draw the midpoint. And I was watching to see if price want to come back and go below this. I was paying attention, like really watching this, because I know that if we move that much high up, there's a very very small chance that we'll go and take this buy side right here. And I was like, with this week right here, I don't really think we're gonna hit this buy side. So I said, okay, you know what? There's a chance it's gonna reverse. And we went to the lower time frame now, to the 4 hour chart. And I was looking at these fair value gaps here. This fair value gap, this is a breakaway fair value gap, and I was expecting price to maybe come down into here and then gravitate out. That's what I wanted to happen, but that didn't happen. So I was thinking, okay, if that doesn't happen, more than likely we're gonna probably tap the next fair value gap and run up, but it's not gonna do a lot because we kind of move a lot on the 4 hour chart. Like this is a huge. We're not just gonna go straight up. At some point this has to come down and rebalance itself. And so I was thinking, okay, long term I'm still bullish, but short term bearish, of course. I had my fair value gap draw in here, and I was saying, okay, there's a good chance if we come back, if we start showing like, price want to come back down, I'm gonna go for a short. We went to the smaller time frames now. We was watching, was waiting. I waited because since we had news at 10 o'clock, power was talking. I kind of like waited through all of these. I didn't really go in until like later, so I kind of like avoided all of that. And we had first presented gap right here. See that? First presented gap was right here. We draw that all the way out, and price didn't even. It only tapped it once and then dump. But since we had news, I didn't take this short. This was a good short, but I didn't take the short because like sometimes 10 a.m. like news that comes around that time usually could spike. And I ain't gonna lie to you guys, it has happened to me before where like I'll be in a trade and the 10 a.m. news comes out, it's a red folder and it spikes up or just spikes down and I get stopped out immediately. So I faded this whole thing. And I just waited, and I kind of like waited until like it was about to be like damn near 11 o'clock. And I went short around here. That's why I went short. On a 3-minute chart, there was a fair value gap. There it is right there. This fair value gap right here, I took a short on that. This is so red. But yeah, I took a short on this fair value gap and I was just holding for price to come down to the midnight. And that's that, and it got that around here, and I got out just like I showed you guys earlier. But the mindset behind this also, I was watching this to see if this will got inverted, because what happened was price did come down, right? Came back up, and then it did this, and that was during like 10 a.m. I'm like, okay, what's going on? If we push higher, there's a very very good chance it's gonna fail, and that didn't happen. I was watching this up close, and I wanted this to become a what do you call it? I wanted this to become a bearish order block. These two up close candles on a 15-minute time frame, and I was thinking to myself, okay, if price break below this, there's a market structure shift to the downside, and that's what I was expecting. The market is very weak, by the way. And then I went short right here. This, all I was looking at. But really, I don't. The only two things I operate with, actually not even two, just three things I use in these trades: inversion fair value gaps, order blocks, and fair value gaps. That's the only three things that I use for my PD arrays. I don't care about any other PD arrays really. Like that's the only PD arrays that I use when I'm looking for a short position or a long position. I'm looking at the high time frames inversion, because a lot of time people will see, then like if you don't do enough backtesting, you're not gonna trust it. But like whenever price inverts, the moment it inverts, drop down to a 1 minute time frame. Or if you see a fair value gap that gets tested, for example, this 1 hour fair value gap right here, where price came back up and tested it, like the moment like it taps into this, you want to drop to a 1 minute time frame. Like you want to immediately, like right here, that's when it did it. It tapped right into that. Bow. Get into a 1 minute time frame. You can go short here and put your stop like maybe above this candle, but you don't have to. Or you could just take the inversion right here, because you know this is a 1 hour fair value gap. It tapped into it, and then for another confirmation, you can use this, and then you go short. That price dropped down here. But I was already holding through this whole entire thing because my bias was already bearish for the day. But long term I'm bullish, but short term I'm bearish. And then I held through all of this price action pretty much. And I also added to my position because I did start from up here, and then I added like I think two more or one more I added, and then that was about it. Because I'm slowly building back my equity curve. And 1 second. Yes, I'm back. Anyways, like I was saying, my bias for this week is still I'm still bullish a little bit because I'm also going about it like the 15 minute from Monday to Thursday, and the midnight open is where's Monday at? You see, look at this. We're on Wednesday right now. We're very expensive right now. Made the weekly midnight is right here. Where's it at? Where's that? Oh, it's a bit further. This is the weekly midnight actually for this week. Monday. You see, we moved a lot. You see that? We move quite a bit. So I'm expecting tomorrow price to flush. I don't I'm not I don't think we're gonna keep going higher. I expect price to start flushing. And for in this right here, tomorrow like tomorrow's Thursday, so I expect a market maker sell model to take place tomorrow. Beautiful market maker, like all of this. Let me see something. I have to do the range with the fib. I have to do it with the fib. For Monday, I gotta get the midpoint with the fib from this low right here. I'm gonna start right here from Monday, all the way to this high. So I'm gonna say this entire range right here is going to need to be closed in. This entire range. We might get an expansion even down here. I won't be surprised if it comes all the way back down here. So tomorrow, that's what I'm expecting tomorrow. I don't expect higher prices, and if it happens, it happens. But long term, I'm expecting this to keep on dropping. But like I was saying, like we since we move quite a bit and we move like a lot. Tomorrow's Thursday. I expect a massive reversal to start taking place, and I think London session might give us high of the week, based on how this is moving, because we already inverted the 1 hour right here. That's the first sign of bearishness. That 1 hour inversion for value gap right here. I'm gonna increase the size so you guys can see right there. So and then we also came back and tested the inversion, and we also tested this small little fair value gap right there, and price started dropping. These are the things you have to really pay attention for. And this whole range right here, the blue line is a 4 hour fair value gap, and I expect this entire fair value gap right here really to get closed in, and that's gonna give us the even longer term buys that we're definitely going to visit all this range back down here, all of that. So and also on the daily chart, what's this? This is a potential BISI right here, a potential fair value gap. So I think tomorrow price could do something like it opens. If we gap down a little bit and start pushing back up, right? I'd expect it to fail and come back down into this fair value gap to like draw some liquidity, and then price can actually continue higher. That's what I'm thinking that's going to happen. We're not gonna completely just drop. It's just gonna be like probably like a half point of this from this low to this high, the midpoint. That'll be the target probably. So somewhere like around here, like I was pointing out, we're probably gonna drop to the 50% of this range by tomorrow, or even like down here. And then price gonna probably start gravitating out of this on maybe on Friday. That's what I'm projecting based on like how market structure is. So like tomorrow, I'm really looking for shorts, but I'm still gonna be careful because we're still in a bullish market long term. And how do we know that? Look at the weekly chart. Look at the weekly chart. We're still bullish low key long term, but we could still see bearish structure, and that could also trick some people into trying to look for longs, because we did move quite a bit with the weekly. So but at the same time, I could be wrong where like price just ignore this shit and just keep going higher. And I was also watching ES, which is one of the equities that I don't really trade, and ES has not made, hasn't really like run, kind of tap into a fair gap here, small weekly or weekly gap right here. With ES, we'll just see what the ES does, because I really think we're gonna drop back down into this liquidity point before we kind of like make new highs. Because we have this huge buy side we gotta take out, like all of these equal highs, a beautiful equal high right here, and a long-term high. So I'm watching all of that. I try to keep my chart very, very, very clean, but because I don't want too much things on it. But for tomorrow, I'm really watching I'm still watching the consequent encroachment of that wick. I'm keeping my eyes on that. This daily wick right here, the midpoint. I'm keeping my eyes on that, and I'm also watching out to see if price wants to move. Because the thing is, tomorrow if we do like a Judas swing up, like a small little, if it gaps down and it starts moving back up, that's good. That's what we want. And then it's probably gonna dump right back into this range. That's exactly what we want to happen. So we might get a market maker sell model and then framing that for Friday. That's what I see coming based on the market structure we're seeing right here. Because we moved quite a bit, and right now we're really expensive, and it is very risky shorting at all time highs because yeah, it's very risky. But I think based on what's going on right now, there's a very good chance we could come down for a little bit just to rebalance and continue higher because we kind of ranged quite a bit around here. But I want to see rejection and then all that. If you're a 5 minute trader, all you gotta do is wait for a 5 minute gap. Literally, 9:30 opens, wait till 9:50, 9:45, 9:50 for a 5 minute gap. There, boom, right there. That's your short. Hold because a lot of the time once you get the once price is trading above the 8:30 and you at all time highs, at some point it's gonna get too expensive and it's gonna start breaking down. Especially if you're looking for shorts and you know what the bias potentially is, then you don't have to be like scared of what's gonna happen next. But you have to just learn to sit through all of this back and forthness. Once you learn to sit through all this back and forth, you're gonna do well. It's annoying. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's tedious as hell. But once you know that okay, the high of the day is already placed by 10 a.m. Once the high of the day is already made by 10 a.m. and we're moving away from this, you could guarantee just hold your position. Don't even like you could move your stop break even and just let it be a free trade, like where you don't win or where it's not a loss at all. It's just a guaranteed win. And then these equal lows was looking really sweet, and I was like, yo, this. But I really wanted price to dump this low, but I knew that we kind of moved quite a bit, and today it's already 2 o'clock, about to be 3. So I was like, there's a very good chance we're not gonna get that drop. So a market close, I'm gonna predict a market close right now. When we open again, is we're probably gonna see like a gap down. And if it gaps up, that's also good too, because we could probably like do like a draw on liquidity and then continue lower. But let me remove all of these because the session's already over. And yesterday I didn't really trade at all yesterday because of Powell's speech. I wanted to trade, but the price action was pretty fucking terrible. Like it wasn't really clean at all. It wasn't really too clean. Even today wasn't that clean, but like a setup still showed up around 10 o'clock, and I was like, okay. And I was waiting for shorts because the way we was moving and the way this was all that back and forth, I was like, there's no way we go back up. And I had bearish bias anyways. Watch it just fall down here. I have a feeling it's gonna fall down here and just go because it happens too many times. It's one of those things that once you do this for a while, you just starts to see it. But yeah, it's not. You just once you like learn these concepts, it's like you want to really minimize your exposure to like because the thing is it's more like choosing something that works for you and kind of like run with it. That's what I try to do when I'm doing this. I'm just basically just choosing the choosing the concept that works for me, and then I just run with it. And to me, inversions and fair value gaps and order blocks, those are my three things that works for me really well. That's all it does. That's because once you have that mindset, bro, once you really like test it, also you're gonna realize, oh, and then you go for and then you once you understand structure, you go to the smaller time frame and you can see it microscopic what's going on. Like you get the microscopic view of what's really going on. Like this right here, this two uploads candle. What is that? That's a bearish order block. In a bearish order block, guess what that is? It's a change in the state of delivery. A bearish order block. That's all it is. It's literally from bullish to bearish. That's all it is. It's a change in the state of delivery. That's all it is. That's all. Once you understand that's what order block is, bro, boom, you there. It's a change in the state of delivery. That's all the order block is. It's basically, look at that. Boom. Two up close candle. price should respect this and start going back down. This is another one. These could classify as those black candles could classify as proportion blocks also, but I don't really like dabble in that one. I try to keep it very simple, and that works for the simplicity of it. Just makes it work really well. And the thing is, once you kind of identify these high time frame ranges and you drop down to the 1 minute time frame, you're gonna see how price behave. And when you know what you're looking for, you can go either short, you can go long. That's not financial advice, but I'm just giving you my opinion on what's going on. Once you understand, like, okay, inversion, you have to understand, like, you also have to like trust it. And you're not gonna trust it because when you see something like this, you're not gonna trust it because you're not exposed to it long enough, but like you just gotta keep on doing it, and then you're gonna start, and then you also gotta test it yourself, and then you're gonna see the results. Like the concept aligns really well with people who use indicators. I'm gonna say it right now. These concepts, you learn these concepts, you don't need indicators. But you can still use indicators for people who like indicators. You can still use them. They align very well with indicators. Like even better, I'll say. You can get in. You're kind of like earlier than an indicator user, but it's very similar. But it's just that this you can kind of fade certain moves. You can kind of see it before it happens. But with this hourly inversion, I already know that in this paragraph here, I already know that I'm bearish for the rest. Like this is going to once this 4 hour inverts, I'm already gonna be like, okay, we're gonna go down tomorrow. This price is gonna come back and retest here, this entire range here. And I'm also watching this hourly fair value gap right here too. Keeping my eyes on that one. So I want price to actually come down and close it. Close this. It's hourly busy. I mean, yeah. Also keeping my eyes on this. Once you have these ranges and you understand, like, okay, more than likely once this gets inverts, we're gonna probably invert this and more than likely come down here and visit this level right here. So tomorrow, the only thing I'll be looking for is lower prices. And that's it for today. Today was a good trading day. Monday we traded. Tuesday we didn't trade. Wednesday we traded. We have 2 wins. We're gonna actually today is now today actually I traded today, so I'm gonna say for today it's 1-1 actually because I took a loss very very early in the morning, so it's 1-1. So I'm 1-1 of the day, one loss, and then I 1 win, and then I made money on top of that. So I counted that as a good win. Now we're gonna just check out to see what happens tomorrow, and I'll probably be back tomorrow at 9:30 to see how the market react, and I'm probably gonna live stream it again. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. Good luck and good trading. Remember, guys, all you have to do is study and be patient with price action, because I will tell you right now, if you're not patient with it, you're gonna like get burned, you know. And that's about it. And thank you for watching. You guys have a wonderful